A very good evening to one and all. This video is only for a certain group of people, and that us are most lovely grade 10 boys. They've been going through a lot of videos, they've been going through a lot of examinations, and now they've come to the edge of an examination which is really important, but students tend to go and give much importance, and that's English examination. Last few days I saw a few pictures, students posing where they are hanging around, where they are having fun and merriment. But boys, can I ask you something? Exams not yet over. English is left. Social is left. So to all the CBSE grade 10 boys, this video is going to affect or help you throughout. Now, there are few boys who have asked me, ma'am, what to prepare, how to prepare. This last minute of the examination, they opened the book. So I'm here to tell you the important questions in literature so that you'll be able to know how to prepare for examination. Let's move on. As you all know, the whole question paper is divided into section A reading, section B writing and grammar, and section C you have the literature and the extended book. Let's move on to reading skills. In my previous videos, I've told you how to the techniques, how to do the reading and everything. So I'm not going more into it, but I'm telling you one thing. When you get the question paper in the hand, ensure that you follow in the order of the question paper. There's no need to begin from the section C or section B. Begin from the section A, because reading comprehensions are going to be very easy for board examination, and also ensure you follow the other tips what I said while reading, underlining and all those things. Section B, writing and grammar. First, grammar part. For the grammar part, the question which might come is the first one. You will surely have the fill in the gaps where you have to fill in with either prepositions or articles. Second one, you will have regarding the editing or omission. Editing, when you're doing the editing, ensure that you draw the tabular column in the answer paper with incorrect and correct word. Moving on to omission, ensure that again the tabular column is there with the word before, the missing word and the next word. The tabular column is very important. Now moving on to the writing skills, one sure question is the story writing. Story writing is very important, which is a sure question for 10 marks. Now how can you score marks for story writing? One tip, never forget to give a title for the story. And the title should be like maybe just few words. I mean not few words, few letters. Maybe it's better to stick on to one word or two words. That's enough. Okay, and see that is connected to the story. Now moving on to the story, please for God's sake don't bring in zombies and all those things to the story. See that it's compact. It is what is needed to the real life, because people reading the paper doesn't like all these zombies, and especially these boys or girls don't bring in all these romantic elements to the story. See that it's realistic story and which is connected and intellect. Paragraphing should be done for the story. Now, writing skill one, another sure question can be either article or letter. Article writing, you know, you need to have a headline, byline and 3 paragraphs. And then if you look in letter, you have formal letters. Formal letters like letter of complaint, letter of placing order, and then you have letter of inquiry. When you're doing letter of placing order, ensure the second paragraph is drawn in the tabular column. Okay, a letter of inquiry, you can put in the bulletin point the second paragraph asking like the details what you would like to inquire. Letter of complaint is a question where you need to put properly 3 paragraphs. I've already shared the information about it in the previous video. Now moving on to the most important thing, where the boys who open the book for the last minute, it will be tough for you. The literature section. Literature section, you have the reference to context. You have to write one reference to context. Out of that, you will have 4 questions, 1 mark each. Reference to question, reference to context, you will have options, 2 options. Any one you have to write. Okay, it can be one from poetry and one from prose. Ensure you read it and you do it. The most commonly asked question for reference to context is regarding the rhyme of the ancient mariner. In that question, there's a question regarding the Christian soul. Okay, what do you mean? What do you mean by Christian soul? And why do you call the bird? Why did they hail in God's name? Why did they hail in God's name? Because they thought that albatross is going to be a good thing, a good omen. Okay, and also a messenger of peace. Now moving on again, if you look into the short answer questions, you'll have to write 5 short answer questions. Now I'll be telling you just few short answer questions which are often repeated for the examination. Right? I hope you're writing it down. First one, What are the 3 things the grandfather decided to do the next Sunday? Question number 2. What was the dream seen by Calpurnia? Question number 3. Why do you think Decius Brutus was good in persuading Caesar than his wife Calpurnia? Question number 3. You can speak about either Brutus' speech, Mark Antony's speech. Why do you can ask them like which is the question which normally comes in, who is the best orator? Now, if you look into more questions like that, the question can be like, why is a frog's joy both sweet and bitter? That's a question from Frog and the Nightingale. Then another kind of question is like regarding Postmaster Ali. Regarding Ali, a question can be like that: the postmaster and the people in the post office, they call Ali as a pest. Do you agree? Justify. Another question can be like regarding Patel Babu is a meticulous person. Okay, justify a statement. Then also be from the snake poem, I have something to expiate, I have something to confess. Okay, like that. So these are the few important questions of literature. Now moving into chapter wise, already I discussed Frog and the Nightingale, the frog's joy, both sweet and bitter. The second important question can be the frog is compared to a Mozart in disguise, the metaphor. Poetic device is very important. Now, if you look at the next poem, like Not Marbles, Nor the Gilded Monuments, normally they ask the question like, how can you speak about, like, how will the princes outlive? Okay, and they also ask about the judgmental day. Moving into Ozymandias, the normally asked question is heart that fed and the hand that mocked. Two, you know that. And now again moving on, in Ozymandias itself, last 2 lines. My name is Ozymandias, king of kings. Those 2 lines also often asked for justification. Now moving on to the next poetry rhyme of the ancient man, as I already discussed about why did the people hail it in God's name. Okay, that's important. And the question can be the second part of rhyme of the ancient mariner, where they speak about the reel and drought, the dance form, basically because of the hallucination of the sailors, that part. Now, if you move on to the next poem, Snake, they might ask like about the 2 voices, and then they can ask like I have something to expiate. So these are the few important things. And also in a part, they will also ask like was it an impulsive action? And also the most important thing in Snake is they compare the person with he think about albatross in the poem Snake. That's an usually asked question. This is about poetry. Now moving on to drama, if you look into Julius Caesar, I've already told you the important question, and Dear Departed, the 3 things what the grandfather planned to do. And also there was a question in one of the paper which I saw, who was Dr. Pringles? And boys didn't realize who was Dr. Pringles. He is a doctor who took care of Abel Merriweather. It's only 2 lines which has been mentioned in the Dear Departed, but that is also important. Okay, so if you're looking into literature chapter, please, I'm requesting every student who's watching this video to read all the chapters at least once before the examination. Saturday's examination, you have 1 day left. Please utilize it. Okay, read all the chapters. And poetry, rhyme of the ancient mariner, a lot of poet devices are there. Okay, you have alliteration, metaphor, simile. So please go through all the poetry devices. Now, that is about literature. Now, if you move on to Mrs. Packletide's, the prose part, 2 gentlemen of Verona normally ask questions. They were not rich, but why are they called gentlemen? Okay, and in 2 gentlemen of Verona, another question is why are they hope for the society? Okay, these are 2 questions normally asked. He colored under the sun. Okay, that's another thing. And we just have plans. Now, moving on to Mrs. Packletide's, one often asked question is why is it said that the secondary expenses, about secondary expenses, they've been mentioned. What was the secondary expenses? Okay, so that's the question. And also they might ask like why the false vanity. Okay, that's an important question. Why do you think she was trying to promote? You can just actually confirm with compare it with the age which they belong to. Now moving to next chapter, Ali, the old age problem. The same old age problem can be connected to Dear Departed also, Abel Merriweather's problem. Okay, that's the chapter, the letter. Now again, if you move on, you can see the next chapter with the shady plot where they ask Helen of Troy. Okay, why did the Lavinia, the character, why she asked about the Helen of Troy? Okay, and then Patel Babu, why is he called a meticulous person? Okay, so these are the few questions being asked. Now last chapter is virtually true. Like the main important question they normally ask, like the Sebastian who was there in the coma stage, how did he recover? The miracle recovery. That's a very important question which is often asked in the chapter. Okay, so these are the important questions in literature. Now, moving on to the most important portion where always the boys omit. Please, it's a 10 marks question from Helen Keller. Okay, Helen Keller, I'll tell you just 5 or 6 questions which is very, very important. Helen Keller, the important questions are character sketch of Anne Sullivan, the teacher of Helen Keller, the character sketch of Helen Keller, the main protagonist, the character sketch of Graham Bell, Alexander Graham Bell, the character sketch of Mr. Anagnos, and there was also question one of the paper, who was Bishop Brooks. Bishop Brooks was a person who guided her spiritually. Now, another few questions which might come was regarding the Frost King incident. What happened? She was there in mental trauma. That should be answered. Now, another question which might come regarding the theme of Helen Keller, the story of my life. In that, you can say about the struggles and achievement which she had and how she was able to overcome that. Okay, and the part played by Anne Sullivan. These are the important questions which might come from literature and novel. Okay, I hope this video was really important and it was useful to you. If you still have not subscribed my video, please subscribe the video. Please put the like button. All the very best for all my students. I'm sure you're gonna raise the banners of the whole school. Thank you and have a good time.